Welcome to another episode of A Cup of Joe. Today's special guest is Greg Mihaly with the Window Source.
Hey everyone, I'm Greg.
Hey Greg, welcome to have you.
Glad to be here. This is a first for me.
Is it?
Yeah.
You've never been on a podcast before?
No, I've always been a part of it. If anything, it's been behind the scenes. So first time on camera for something like this.
Well, you're in for a treat today. So Greg is one of our preferred vendors at the Hub. And I don't even remember, how did we meet?
I've seen you in passing just around various city activities, Vestavia Chamber of Commerce, Hoover Chamber of Commerce, Small Business Alliance, things like that. I think we formally got introduced from Jeff over at Bumblebee Blinds.
That's right.
So
that's right.
That's how the network works.
That's exactly it. It's just like a little bumblebee, kind of like a hive in a way.
So he tapped us in, and here we are.
Here we are. Greg has done an amazing job. You've done several jobs for us, complete window replacements. And one thing I've hated about windows is how complicated it gets and then how long it takes. And then sometimes it's like completely gibberish because there's 1,000 different windows. And I'm like, I just need a window fixed or replaced, or like, how does this
As
work?
with everything, there's just too many options.
So many options.
Brands, colors, styles. Mm-hmm. Does it match the house? Does it match our future design of the house? Lots of things.
So I can't wait to dig in and kind of figure this out. So tell our audience quickly, like, who you guys are, who you are. I'm having my cheat sheet because sometimes I go off script so much that I run out of time. So I was told to stick to this format today. So I want to know more about who you are, what your company does, and tell me why people should trust you.
Yeah, so moved to the area from Baltimore, Maryland. My wife and family moved here August of 22.
Yeah.
I started the business a year later in 23. Full transparency, don't have a background in Windows specifically. I've been in sales for over 20 years in various industries. Most of it was in Maryland after college. Yeah. But long story short, a college roommate of mine, he started a franchise out in the Charlotte market. And I looked at him and I said, if you could do it, I could do it. So I raised my hand, spoke with the group in Pennsylvania, and got myself set up here in Birmingham. We're a small shop. There's 6 of us, and we just try to bring a human approach to what sometimes doesn't feel very human.
Yeah, and you know what I love about that is sometimes the bigger the company, the more diluted the client gets, and that's what I don't love. That's kind of why we try to like keep it boutique and like on a personal level where I can text you, like I texted you today. Mm-hmm. I was like, I can't sell this house because there's not a window in the basement. How can I get a window in the basement, like in case of fire escape? And you're instantly responding to me instead of like having to go to a website and send a contact us card inquiry and then wait 3 days for someone to get me on somebody's schedule. Like, and you instantly responded. You were not even in town. You're like on vacation, I think?
Yeah, last week we were at South Carolina, yeah.
That's amazing. But you were instantly able, and that's what it takes. That's kind of like the network that we're trying to create. Not even trying, we are. We've created it.
And well, being the owner, as you can attest, right, there's a lot more going on. So you never know what that text is for, good, bad, or ugly.
Right.
How fast do I need to address it?
Exactly.
But in the end, like in Maryland, we had a couple rental properties. So over the course of about 12 years or so, we faced various upgrades, whether it was windows, roofs, painting, all the things. Mm-hmm. And we experienced firsthand what it was like to be the buyer of that situation and seeing what it took from contractors and establishing trust. Is it just a commission-based rep versus the owner and how they handle their process? So again, just to keep it really, really simple, talk to people like they're people, letting them know that I am in charge of how this whole thing operates. So you may not see me every day, but I'm overarching in the control of things. And
that's right.
I run the front of the house, and I've got a great team that helps basically get the windows in once we got all those details worked out. So you call us, you're going to get someone here local. Our office is in Hoover. We're over in River Chase, and I live here in the Hoover area. So, we stay anywhere within the Birmingham metro area.
That's awesome.
Pretty simple.
It is. And sometimes that's just what it takes. And sometimes, I went to a conference last week for Real Broker, and everybody was asking me, they're like, yeah, where's the next hub going? And like, how many locations? And when are you going to go nationwide? And I was like, no.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's just good to be content with just being the master of your craft in one area. Because the bigger you get and the different places you go to, again, the customer kind of dilutes, becomes, a spreadsheet situation. It's
Yeah.
not about like, I'm not going to answer Jordan's thing because now I have that 800 number that has to do the
Yeah,
answering.
I had goals initially to have a second location within 3 years. And now that I'm in the third year, I don't have that desire anymore.
Yeah.
Just knowing the effort it takes on a day to day.
You're tired.
You work 15, 16 hours.
Yeah.
We both have some kids.
Right.
My kids play a lot of sports. That takes a good portion of the afternoon. So oftentimes, as you know, I'll shoot emails out 1, 2 in the morning because that's the only time I can do it.
Yeah.
So,
you ever use auto send?
oh yeah, constantly.
I mean,
Not from the email side, but from text. Yeah.
no, you should do it on email because I do it like I'll have auto send at 8:00, and when 8:00 hits, it's like 60 emails go out, and everybody gets bombarded. And by 8:02, I'm getting like responses and kickbacks, and I love that option. The one on text, game changer.
Yeah.
Because you're like,
I schedule a lot of 8 a.m. texts, and by 8:02, my whole day is changed.
That's it. That's it.
Sometimes it's for the better.
That's right. But you get ahead of it, and like sometimes you just got to take that out of it. Okay, so you kind of told us how you got started. Let me kind of go back. You got pushed into this industry because you're your frat brother.
He's just a college roommate.
Or roommate.
But yeah, in the end, when we moved down here, we had sold all the properties we had in Maryland. So we had 3 rentals, or 2 rentals and a primary residence.
Why did you choose Birmingham?
Birmingham kind of chose us. So my wife's been with the VA for a long time, since college.
Yeah.
And just being in Baltimore for as many years as we were, higher cost of living, lots of traffic, lots of crime and stuff like that. So COVID was a little bit of that, pushed us over the edge. So I had to persuade the family, let's get on out. And she asked where we could go, and they had opportunities for us down here. So we went all in. We bought the house that we're in currently, sight unseen. That was pretty incredible. Could have went way different than it has, but it's been a blessing.
Yeah.
And we got down here, and then it was really just, trying to find out what I wanted to be when I grow up, because I didn't necessarily aspire to be any one thing in particular, but I had 20 plus years of sales experience, and just seeing how, working for other people works. I liked having a little more control, a little more identity. And again, just kind of talking to my college roommate, seeing the success he's had over about 10 years now, looking at him saying, hey man, if he could do it, I could do it. And then it was just raising my hand. And once that snowball started rolling, it just didn't stop.
It didn't stop.
And once I was in, I was all in. And then it just gradually picking up momentum day to day.
That's right. What has been the biggest risk or turning point for you starting a business that you're not familiar with, you don't have any background in, you didn't inherit, your family didn't start, like you just kind of, 2-3 years ago chose that this is the path. Like what has that been looking like for you?
Probably a little too much confidence, first of all, right? Just again, assuming if my friend can do it, I could do it. But just having the ability to know, like in my mind, I didn't have another option. And I know I did have other options, but in my mind said I didn't. So once I made the decision, I reached out and had the help from the corporate office, built a team around me. I found my lead installer who runs the back of our office. And, he and I are like yin and yang. He does stuff that I don't want to or don't care to do. And I do things that same thing he wouldn't care or want to do. So I run the front of the house, and then I hand it off to the back of the house. And it's just been kind of a work in progress, going through some growing pains.
That's right.
For the first 7 months, it was just me. So I was answering the calls, the emails, good, bad, and ugly, running all the sales. We added my office manager, Casey. She's the one that basically the command center in-house. And then Mike runs the back of the house. And then we've tried to add some sales and installers over the course of time as we grow. The hope is that the wife will join us, and then she'll be a part of the team, and we can have a true family business. I mean, a lot of the Window Source locations, which I thought was a great thing, are run by the husband and wife.
That's awesome.
In some cases, their sons may run the installs. So it is, in every capacity, a family-run business. So, we look at it in the sense of, like, what's the future? Alabama's been a bright spot in our path. Like, it's been so much better than we envisioned. It's a very tight-knit network, and there's a lot of people here. Coming from the north, as they say, like, it's not given a fair shake. A lot of folks don't know what's going on down here. Yeah. So it's been really nice. And I do think this market, at least in regards to windows, does operate a little differently than some of the other spaces. So
in what regards? Is it from like a temperature standpoint or from like a humanity standpoint, business ethics?
Just like a lot of the homes are, there's a lot of newer construction homes that are within, say, 20 years. I think the boom in Hoover happened over the last 15, 20 years. So
that's right, yeah.
A lot of those homes that were built are now due for window replacement,
right,
which is prime for us.
Yeah.
And also just some of the HOA requirements. it's not necessarily a white window market
Right.
like in other markets. So the vendors we work with, they have a lot of options, so we can meet the needs of just about everyone.
That's amazing. What is your main driving factor?
I mean, really, it's just a matter of trying to get this moving so that we become a namesake, and then again, bringing the wife onto the business, and then just seeing where the future goes.
Yeah.
I really like the idea of. I mean, it was a leap of faith getting out of a W-2 type paycheck where I relied on commission from my past sales. Now it's just much more than that. It's representing a brand. I'm a pretty recognizable guy. I drive a truck that says the name on it.
Right.
Over time, it's just been little bits of progress that now all those little seeds that were planted are starting to grow and blossom. And now it's just trying to keep up and then trying to add bodies so we can keep growing that momentum.
Right. I love that. And I think it's important that when you're walking down that path of like knowing where you're trying to get to, I think a lot of entrepreneurs like kind of jump in and they're a little naive in the beginning and they think, oh, well, if he could do it, I could do it. And then don't realize like how much of a, well, and good for you for recognizing that. 'Cause I think a lot of people, when they're trying to grow entrepreneurship, I get people to ask me all the time. They're like, oh my gosh, I want to sell houses just like you. I want to walk through these beautiful houses. And I'm like, that is like 1 inch of a glimpse of what is involved. Like you have to have so much more skill in being able to run a business, not just show pretty houses, but to be able to like fully execute the back house, which is so much more work. And I applaud you for going through the franchise era because I think there's some pros and cons. Why did you choose a franchise instead of starting everything out from the ground?
Mainly because I didn't have a background in the space. So some franchises are set up, it's like you buy a franchise and you open the box and it's there. With this, it's a little bit different. Because of our market, there's some national account vendors that we work with, and it's really a matter of picking what's best for our space. Energy Star is a big deal. It is hot in the South. We don't deal with much cold, as opposed to where I'm from in Ohio. It's the opposite, much more cold, less hot. And it really just, I have the ability to pick my own installers, and really just build the team how I think makes the most sense. And, some of the biggest hurdles, like you said, come behind the scenes. The sales part has always become easy for me. I feel like I can relate to the homeowner. I can get the product and the pricing.
Connect with the person.
It's after that where the work starts. It's
the process.
Dealing with the vendors, building the quotes, managing the warehouse. Our warehouse space is limited, so we really have to make sure product is moving or we run out of space. And finding a warehouse has been a whole separate issue I've been dealing with.
Logistics of it.
Yeah, because where is it going to be located? Does it meet the requirements of our trucks? And just all of the things in regards to cost. There's so many buildings that are available for 10, 20,000 square foot. There's not a lot that are less than that. And I don't need the big space yet. And that's a fear I have. If I overextend myself with the warehouse, but not the inventory, then it's a matter of that.
Then your infrastructure
budgeting.
cracks.
Right. So it's growing steadily, but kind of painfully.
Yeah, at the same time.
You push things to the red line until it's about to break, and then you figure out how to not break it, work around it.
My speed has always been go fast and break things.
Yeah.
I just go fast, I break it, and then I fix it as I go along.
It takes a lot of honesty from people, though. I have a couple friends who run businesses, not just my buddy in Charlotte, but I did have pretty deep conversations with them, and all of them, in some way or another, tried to talk me out of it just because they knew what it took, and they've lived it, and they were like, it's far harder than you imagine.
Sure.
And you don't really understand what that means until you're in the midst of it.
Until you're in it. But no one can. Yeah. No one can really teach you what entrepreneurship is until you actually get into it. And I think it is way harder than a W-2 employee. I mean, I was a W-2 employee. I worked at the bank. And there's been so many times where I'm like, oh, I just showed up. I used the laptop they gave me and the cell phone they gave me and the software and everything else that they gave me. And then when I closed it, I just went home. Like it just didn't go.
Did you have two phones? I love that.
Yes.
I used to have the work phone and the other phone, and I'd leave one where I didn't want to be bothered.
That's right. I mean, I was
now it's all in
hours. One. Now that's it. I'm actually considering disconnecting my number and getting it my own personal number because my number's been the business number for since I've started the business.
Everybody knows you.
So I get calls from the freaking telemarketers, dude. I want to know what school they go to because, oh my goodness, at their follow-up game. Yeah. It's pretty obnoxious. Okay, so walk me through what makes you great. Walk me through your process, your standards, and how you do things differently and the results clients can expect.
Yeah, so again, I rely extremely very heavily on my lead installer and then the experience he brings. So we have 20 years experience doing the work. I will not be installing windows for your sake and for everyone else's sake out there. Again, I
You
just
know
run
your
the front of the
lane,
house.
and
Yeah,
you stick to
I
it.
know what I'm good at and I know what I'm not.
I love that.
And I don't have time to learn the stuff I'm not good at this moment. So
Yeah.
really, it's just being real with people. Again, I give most people my cell phone just the same. You can go through the office and in the end get to me, but it's really just understanding that we're in people's houses and it's a serious matter. Windows cost money, sometimes a lot of money.
A lot of money.
And it's not an easy decision. And sometimes people will wait until it is absolutely necessary. And at that point, after years of waiting, now it's a very rushed decision. And we have to try to balance that of timeline. You know, there's manufacturing dates and lead times and install times, and it is still a manufactured process. So at points of delivery, sometimes things can show up broken. We have to reorder them. Sometimes there's mismeasurements. You know, accidents do happen. And again, just more of a human element that we can bring. You know, I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm a business owner, and just trying to make sure everyone's on the same page, knowing that, you know, we all need a little bit of grace, but in the perfect world, measurements are right, the specs are right, the job goes in right. We always do a second measurement before we order. We're always pretty clear and concise on what the deal is, so everyone's aware. And then, you know, we try to clearly communicate. We can install windows in all weather as long as it's not raining. If your schedule, if you had to take off work to get your windows installed and it's raining that day, sorry, we just can't do it. And I think most homeowners understand that. But
yeah. I mean,
things that
you
we
can't
can control, we just try to keep overall communication the key.
What's your favorite success story?
Man, I really just think like seeing this thing grow over 3 years. My initial goal was, because I knew nobody, didn't even know the geography of the land, was just to spread seeds all over town. So it was 2 to 3 different networking meetings a week, and it would
Dude,
be,
you're crushing it.
yeah, it was,
Like,
it's ongoing.
You're crushing it.
So it would be a matter of just how many people can I shake hands with and let them know I exist. Because when you search, you're going to see a number of big box stores that pop up on those search results. And I didn't have the time or really the interest to do the TV ads, the billboards, things like that, because we couldn't maintain the volume. So it was trying to grow steadily where one job led to another. You put a yard sign out, a neighbor sees it, they need windows, their family and friends need windows.
It's grassroots, baby.
It truly is. I mean, it's a lot of work, and it's
Yeah.
it's hard to explain to people that don't own a business what it really takes, because there is no off switch. I mean, it's Saturdays, it's Sundays, texts and emails keep coming in. In the communication world we live in, it's instant messenger, you know, Facebook, social media, every way you can be communicated with, it happens.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
you don't want to miss it, because there are dollars being spent to collect and gather leads.
Right.
So we don't want to miss anything.
That's right. That's right. No, I love that. What is the most difficult job that you had to pull off?
Difficult job.
You got to have one.
Well, I mean, I just think of the jobs I haven't won, really, because we're not set up for some of the jobs, in the sense of, you know, we do sell and install the product. And sometimes jobs are just extremely large with general contractors and some of like the new build construction, commercial work and things that we would qualify for. However, with a 6-man operation,
it would kill you.
Some of the jobs that require 2,000 windows sound very appealing, but we couldn't feasibly do that in the time restraints that we would need to.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of finding our niche. As we get better, we just improve our processes. I mean, everything's had to get better. 1, 2, 3, 5 window jobs. It's pretty simple day-to-day stuff. Now in the summer hours, we can do, 25 windows in a day, and that's pretty impressive. And it's a matter of just having the guys know where we got to be, all the tools that we've set up internally to communicate with, pictures, measurements, and just customer communication. So as for bad, or I should say like not so great jobs, there isn't any that stand out because we've made them all work. It's just I feel like we've missed out on opportunities because I never want to miss anything. So when a bid sheet comes across my desk, I want to make it work. We're just not there yet. So I have to still be patient.
Good for you, because if you grow, like you said, too fast and you don't have the infrastructure to support that, and let's say you did take on a 2,000 window job and then you just failed miserably, like the amount of stress and havoc and headache and pressure that you put on your team, the infrastructure, the logistics, the manpower, the hours, the physical draining that it can do to mental, like the mentally side, the spiritual side, just physical side. That is what a leader is supposed to do, is like lead their team into excellence, not into like the next shiny golden trophy. I've been guilty of that, of like, oh my gosh, like let's, ball out. Like when I first started my team a couple of years ago, before we kind of like shut it back down, I demolished it and started all over again because I thought I wanted to be everywhere all the time. And then I wasn't able to master any skill anywhere. Like no one knew me in, Gulf Shores or Muscle Shoals or Trustville or Gardendale or Gadsden or Huntsville. Like we were spread so thin. We were saying yes to everything and everyone and everywhere. But then we weren't mastering our niche. And so no matter how hard we worked, people were like, oh, I never heard of her. And then like I took offense to that. I'm like, what do you mean you haven't heard of me?
Right.
Like I'm kind of a big deal.
Yeah. I don't think they could say that now. But
Right. But that's because I demolished and started over. And I was like, I don't want to go wide and shallow, but I want to go like direct and deep because that's how you really can be recognized. Because then people, like you said, see you over and over again in the same spots, in the same connections, in the same circles, in the same events. Whereas if you're attending an event from here to there, so that's my advice to you. If you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to build a business, especially if it's a young business, what you said could not have more weight to it. It's like focus on the niche, focus on the direct growth that you are trying to master that one lane, and then naturally progress if you even want to progress. Like for me personally, I don't want to have a second or third or fourth and fifth and sixth and seventh location. I don't want to, because then you got to start all over again with networking and building that community and getting growth in that area and understanding that crowd. And it's like, it takes so much work and people don't realize that. And I think as entrepreneurs, you want everything everywhere all the time. Yes, 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 I want to do it. But then you don't realize how much that can do to your mental psyche. So I'm proud of you for recognizing that. And if you can give a piece of advice to an entrepreneur that's watching this right now, what would be what you would tell them?
I mean, keep goals realistic. Everybody has goals, and you should set goals that are hard to reach, but you have to make them realistic. For us, it's really just knowing that we have 6 people, and I'm not saying we're only a referral-based shop, because by no means are we, but most of our business comes from referral.
That's
a friend
right.
that has seen us, a relative, a
Well,
colleague,
your
a hub
best
partner.
clients come from your best clients.
Yep.
So there's no more truth than that.
Yeah.
Like
if you do it right the first time,
I love it.
we take pride in having our own guys. We don't sub out work. So we
That's
know
huge,
the
by
people
the way.
that are going to do the job. The final measurements take place by an in-house person. It helps build trust again from the team
Own the
standpoint.
process.
And then just executing, doing the job right the first time. We deal with products and supplies that have warranties for that purpose. But the truth be told is, even if you have a very high-end window and a bad installer, none of that matters.
None of it
You're still going to have
matters.
problems, and you
And
may
that's
have to do
gonna
it
be
again.
The receptor. What are some tips that you can give to homeowners that they should know about their windows?
So depends on the age of your home, but typically when you're at that 15 to 20 year mark, there's going to start to be some sort of problems over time, especially if you have wood windows and they haven't been properly maintained. That can mean any number of things. I mean, they suggest you paint and stain, especially your windows, or reseal or glaze them at least every 2 years. If you haven't painted your house in a couple of years and you have wood windows, there's a high probability that there's going to be wood that starts to rot. The glass and wood separate, and that will eventually make things fall apart. We've also seen that a lot of windows over time, they just stop working, especially with newer homes. There's a lot of builder grade product out there. So builder grade product isn't necessarily meant to last forever. So at some point, again, typically around 15 years, there's an issue that comes up and it doesn't go away.
Right.
It doesn't get better without somebody addressing it. The thing I like to tell folks is we don't have to change all your windows out at the same time. A lot of people think, it's going to be a full house project.
Yeah, you can do front windows, side windows. You can kind of break it apart.
One guy we worked with, he did 5 windows at a time. And over the course of 2 years, we did his whole house. But he wanted to cash flow it. And he was okay with how that looked. And we went around and at the end it all worked. So there's no right or wrong way to do it. But wood windows are the majority of what we change out. Certain parts of town have older homes and there's a different kind of single pane issue going on where there's zero energy efficiency. If you have single pane windows, it's most likely making your house hotter and colder than it needs to and drafty. And I'm sure everyone knows what that means. So Really, age of the home is our biggest driving factor, and has it been
Just get an
maintained?
opinion. Just get an opinion. If not, like if you're wondering, if you have some doubt, just get an opinion. I mean, opinion is free. I know I FaceTimed you before, where I was like, "What am I looking?"
Yeah, we get a lot of videos from Jordan
Yeah.
trying to dissect what are we
like,
looking
what
at
is
here?
this and what is that?
Yeah.
Like, and it saves you time to travel and drive, because sometimes you can answer it right there and you're like, actually, you're not looking in the right place. And then, you're able to like really collaborate. I'm going to do a lightning round. You ready? Favorite job to do?
Favorite job? I mean, usually somewhere around like 10, 12 windows. I mean, it's a day job. It's something we can get in and out of.
Okay.
It's like the perfect size for us.
Craziest thing you've done on the job?
Man, I don't know if I have I don't know if that's a lightning round question. I have to think about that. Craziest thing.
Have you ever walked on anybody naked?
No.
Have anybody walked by naked? Forgetting that
No, but there are
blowing
some
their windows?
situations where a new mom of her third or fourth was sleeping in the bed, and it
You're
was
standing outside her window.
yeah. It's just a matter of like, hey, we're gonna be over here, so just keep doing what you're doing. But there's a lot of privacy. Sometimes homeowners forget we have to see every window of your house.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you're in a closet and you see what's in the closet. There's privacy sometimes goes away with the window business.
Yikes! I love that. What's the most underrated service?
Underrated service? I mean, for us, it's full replacement. So that's the minimum. We don't repair. We don't do service work unless we install the window initially.
Okay.
So really, it's just a matter of like, we're taking it out of the home. We're putting something new in it.
Something new. What's the one thing they wished everyone knew?
Again, windows do make a big impact. So you're going to get
utility costs.
You're going to get savings on your utilities. You're going to get usually a quieter house because all the gaps and drafts and stuff that you had before,
You can hear that outside.
it goes
I didn't
away.
even think about that.
So I typically tell people when you get new windows, it's going to look like you're wearing polarized sunglasses for a few days. You're going to walk in, the house is going to look different, feel different. And then once it's 106 outside and you notice your house is like 82 and the air conditioning doesn't have to run, there's also that.
There's some
so
value.
it's quieter and it's always going to be hotter or colder.
I love it. How can people find you?
I mean, we're just like you. We try to cover the social media spread everywhere we can. So, I mean, we're on Facebook and Instagram almost every week. I post
The
things.
Window Source
The Window Source of Birmingham.
of Birmingham.
Yep.
That's your branch.
Yep. And I'm Greg Mihaly. I have a personal page, and really we just tag each other because what I do think we do different is I show work. Like, I actually show the work getting done, befores and afters. So
I'm obsessed, especially the time lapse. Like I don't know. It's like ASMR.
yeah, and I need to
wanna
get better
watch
at
it.
that because
Yeah.
you set up a GoPro and you leave for 6 hours and you come back and you find it's on the ground. That didn't do very well. So
Yeah.
I need to get better at that, but I don't have a film crew. So usually it's just
No, I got just one of my old iPhones and I just put it on time lapse. I just turn it on time lapse and I just like strap it to a tree.
Yeah.
Especially when we're doing like renovations and stuff. And then I just come back and, a 5-6 hour video is like compressed to 30 seconds. It's fantastic.
Yeah, footage is good though. I love the footage just
yeah,
because like
just
people
to
need to
watch
see
Yeah.
the work. A lot of businesses I think just say like, here's our price, here's our discount, here's our sale.
And you serve all clients, like affordable, mid, high end, luxury, super luxury. You serve all kinds of clients.
Yeah, I mean we have different brands for that very reason. So
Right.
whatever the homeowner wants, sometimes
You
there's
can find
HOA
something.
requirements or sometimes it's more budgetary requirements.
And any special perks that you have for our HBH clients?
I mean, really, it's just a matter of you're going to get priority service in the sense of like, we have the partnership. So anybody that comes as a lead, I've done work with, I think, 3 different homes already just with your group. And, I think they've all turned in Google reviews. So I think
Yeah.
that speaks pretty well.
I'm holding client gifts as hostage for reviews. I'm like, you see that basket with the big glittery everything? You see it right there? You can collect it when you've submitted your reviews.
Yeah.
Like literally, I'm not even kidding you. And every one of them is doing reviews at the table now.
Wow.
So they can get
Maybe I
their-
should start implementing that.
They will. They're
Um,
like, okay, I'll do it right now. I'm like, of course you will.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how we're getting them done.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Like we just find that, like again, being a human, because I know because it's a tight knit community, we're gonna see each other again. I've seen people at church. I've seen them at the grocery store. My wife gets a little bothered because people tend to recognize me, and I love it because I feel like if I'm going out
Like
in
a
public
local celebrity.
and they don't know who I am, then I'm not putting the message out to enough places.
That's right.
So-
that's right.
I don't know if there is too much. I feel like we're in the industry where we can just
That's what you have to do.
put more out there.
Yeah. Well, I love that. So, guys, make sure you follow the Window Source of Birmingham. Greg, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah,
Any
appreciate
last sign-off words?
No, again, we have a local office. We're here in town. Pretty strong chance if you make a phone call and you want a free estimate, I'll be the guy to come and see you. And we try to keep the meetings short, 20, 30 minutes, unless you want it to be longer. And we don't need all day.
I love it. I love it. And that's it for us today's episode. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.
Please like and subscribe. See you guys next time.